what time it is.
Now I'm like, man, I think I need a beer before we go.
Hit us with a hello and welcome to the day, sir.
All right, hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We have got the penultimate episode, Jake. The penultimate stream of our set review of Commander Legends. Are you excited to be here?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get this second to last highlight video out of the way where we're going to talk about mana drain and a couple other cards. And I guess we should just get into it. I don't even need to say that the video starts right now because it's already started.
Yeah, there is no start right now for the stream. For the stream, we started 32 minutes ago. While you're here, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That like button in particular for these live streams really helps us get onto people's feeds so that they can come in here and yell at us about how we're untapping lands and not just the artifacts on our combo videos.
Oh, God. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some of these cards. We've got 2 days to go over today.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get into it. Joel, start us off.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at Annoyed Altosaur. It's a Cascade common, reach trample. You know, I don't even know if this one makes the actual Cascade decks. Maybe if they just want to be redundant on it even further. But mostly this is a limited stomper when you need that in your deck.
Yeah, just think about in limited when you like to kind of go wide and stuff. This is one of those kind of cards that's going to build you a little bit of a board presence. Cascading with a 7-drop is a pretty big deal, and that reach and trample can really get you out of some sticky situations.
I want to go ahead and unofficially dub this dinosaur Derpy Dinosaur. If there's ever been a Derpy Dinosaur ever in my life, I think that this is the derpiest.
It's pretty funny. It's funny because it's clearly like a brontosaurus.
Yeah,
it's a herbivore,
right?
But right now this fairy has pissed it off. I don't know if the fairy that's
a siren
tickled its nose. Oh, is that what it is? It's a siren.
This must be Ixidor, and that's a siren pirate. You know.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. Is this card a reprint? I'm gonna feel so dumb when it is.
There's no way. Cascade. Yeah, all these Cascade cards. There's no way they're reprints.
No. Yeah,
Craig, Mr. Fun in the Sun, really appreciate those subs. Gilrana, Jake, Caller of Wirewood, a green and 2 other for a 1/2 elf druid. Tap to add green. When you spend this mana to cast a spell with converted mana cost 6 or greater, draw a card, and it has partner. Oh,
this card's brutally good, dude. Limited.
Brutally
I
good
don't
and
know
limited,
if it will
but this
see
is
any kind of like.
I mean, it's a mana dork
play.
out of the mana dork and card advantage out of the command zone.
It's good.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good card, and in limited, it would be one of those cards that gets you into, like that green-white, that big white angel that we were talking about. We're not going to cast it a lot. We're probably going to cast it once. Yeah, this is pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, this is actually one of the more interesting and potentially viable.
It has really good synergy with any of the big stuff.
I mean, it's an early overcost Llanowar Elf, and it's a late, very undercost. What's the green artifact? The legendary green artifact that I can never remember the name of from Eldraine that lets you draw cards every time you cast creatures. This one triggers on Great Henge. This is an undercost Great Henge that's a little bit different. You're spending the mana to cast a spell CMC 6 or greater. You're going to do that a lot in Commander, and you get to replace it in your hand, which is, card advantage can be one of the deterrents of running an aggro build or any kind of like super ramp build, because then you got a bunch of lands on the battlefield and nothing to cast, or you run out of stuff to cast. I like the potential of this one. That's a very interesting uncommon.
Teamer Timmy actually notes that Gilrana is the other half of the Mimic Signpost partners, so that's a good note as well.
Oh, interesting. What does that mean?
Yeah. So, what's that?
What does that mean?
It's just it's got to be some sort of thing. I don't know what it is, but I just wanted to make that note for anybody who's watching, because I don't know what it is, so it's important that we get that out of there. I can't imagine if someone's saying that's going to be not important. So
no, yeah, for sure.
It means that each 2 color combination has a draft archetype. Oh, okay, yeah.
Signposts like the artifact. Okay.
Yes.
I see. Okay, cool. Got it. Ixidor, Wardwing Familiar. Flying 1/3 for 2. Spells your opponent's cast that target one or more commanders you control. Costs 3 more to cast, and it's got partner. Seems like a cute tax partner that you would end up cutting for something better.
Yeah, 3 is pretty good. I mean, especially if you have a big commander in the late game. This is a nice little, you probably, if you're going to be playing this in limited, you're going to want to have something cheaper and then something bigger.
Yeah.
Or 2 cheap things if you're trying to run aggro. I think it's fine. I think it's a limited card.
It's cute. It's got a much cuter smile than our derpy dinosaur.
But definitely a good stacks piece. Partner aside, I think in the right shell, that card's going to be very, very potent.
Jake, check this card out. This card's been getting a lot of chat. 1 blue, 2 other for a Merfolk Pirate 3/2 flasher called Hullbreacher. If an opponent would draw a card except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, instead, you create a treasure token. So every extra draw past their first one, you're creating a treasure token on your side, and it's a replacement effect, so they don't draw that extra card. Lots of people complaining that this card wasn't in white. Lots of people comparing this card to Smothering Tithe.
Wow. Yeah.
This is yet another one of the new cards from the set that seems like...
so crazy how the ability is so good, and it's still like a 3/2 for 3 with flash. And they're like, it's on the ground. It's on the ground. It can have flash and have crazy power and toughness.
Well, the thing is you don't want to attack with this thing. This thing is an enchantment. A fragile enchantment.
You never attack with this. Everybody can't wait to block it. No, I think it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very good. It yet again is another card where I'm like, is that a staple? When I see it.
Nothing in white, David says. Magic the Casual notes, Gavin tweeted about this card in the opposition agent and why they're not white.
Yeah, I saw that string of tweets, and it was a good justification. We can pop over to it later if we want to, but I mean, mostly it comes down to when they designed those 3-color commanders too. It's just what it felt good as. I don't know. It's an interesting... This is a very good card. This is going to be playable in a lot of blue decks. It's a utility card, so it's one of the first cut if you're really aiming on a synergy or a theme. But if your synergy or theme is pirates or permission-based stuff, this is definitely an inclusion.
Yeah.
Jake,
let's talk about Mana Drain. It's
what
Mana
is this
Drain,
card?
everybody.
It seems this card seems really good. If I had to say what I felt about it, I would be like,
it looks like a good card.
I think it's good. I think it's good.
It seems like you counter the spell, and then at the beginning of your next main phase, add an amount of mana equal to that spell's converted mana cost. It seems like just the best ever possible counterspell. So
wait, Jake, this instant is $136. This instant is $259.
Yeah, that OG printing. You know this. Did you not know this? I can't tell if you're trolling.
I have now trolled so hard that it has wrapped back around on itself and is eating its own tail, converting it into plausibility. No, I have heard of this card a couple times.
I know you've heard of it, but I didn't know if you knew or were up with the price. But yeah, it's just a fantastic card. It's not banned in Commander, so why not run it? If you're running blue, the only restriction is that you need 2 blue mana in order to cast it.
Yep.
But other than that, I mean, it's just the most fantastic counterspell other than Force of Will. And because of the mana upside in the second main phase, it's, arguably the best. It's really hard not to go crazy over it. But just know there's no limit to the number of times Wizards of the Coast can put an extended art treatment on this card, and then the next time it appears in double masters because, hey, 2 blue, and it's got a new showcase treatment, and, I'm just saying, it's a great card. It's a wonderful, wonderful card to pull, but don't freak out.
Young Yan said wallet drain, and I completely agree. I mean, that's been this whole year, though, right? Look, I mean, Do I not want the foil borderless? I do. This is a card that I want to get. I want to add it to my stack of
it's super sexy.
My dope cards that I proxy for everything. You know,
I love the. Let's talk about the art for a second. I don't want to delve in, but I love the color palette of this.
Raymond Swanlund knocked this out of the park, man. Absolutely, absolute masterpiece.
How much is it at foil extended? Okay, well, let's think about the desirability. It's in every CEDH build.
Yeah.
So those players are going to pay a premium for it. I would set a budget for it, and if you can find it, you know, the regular is going to be like 100. If you can find the foil extended for like 150 and it works in your budget, I would try to snap it up. I would expect
God, yeah, 150, Jake. That seems cheap to me for the foil borderless.
You never know, dude, because the thing with the foil quality on these cards these days is there's not much big of a difference between the foil quality and the regular card. And a lot of people, because of the foil quality, are avoiding the regular version. So unless the card is a very notable card in like Mana Drain, there will be a difference between the regular version and the foil version. And then there will be a notable difference between the foil version and the foil extended version. But there might not be a huge difference between the foil and the regular version, in my opinion. Like,
really?
Nowadays, it's like people want the foil. No, I mean, dude, it will probably be like this. It'll be like Mana Drain is like 60 to 80. It'll get as low as that, I would imagine.
Which, if you don't want like the super special copy, look at 60 to 80 to snap up a copy so you've got a Mana Drain.
I think the foil regular without the extended is going to be like $100.
Yeah,
100 to 120, and then I think the foil extended is going to end up being 150. If I had to guess, you think $300 card in foil?
I don't think it'll be that much. I was guessing around 200.
Maybe.
Looking at the rest of the availability, so the OG here is sitting around 259 US. We're looking at the Judge. So I think this is fairly comparable here. The Judge foil promo. So you got alternate art on this, but regular frame. You're looking at a $276.
Right. You got to remember this box is 120. It's not coming out of the big thing, and it will be opened in mass.
Sure.
So we got to kind of look at what happened with Force of Will. That Eternal Masters Force of Will foil before the reprint was like a $500 card, and the Eternal Masters foil force still holds a premium, but the foil force from Double Masters that isn't the showcase variant is like $160 right now. So huge dip in price from where that foil Therese Nielsen artwork Force of Will originally was.
Right.
And
before it plummeted.
Yeah, before it kind of like plummeted in price. Sorry, just catching up on chat. Are there box toppers on this, or did they stop doing those? There are, to my knowledge,
no box. There's a buy a box promo.
There's a buy a box promo. Yeah. Which is the
Mana card.
Mana Confluence.
Mana Confluence. So there is going to be the buy a box and pre-release promo here. Mana Confluence, and they've also got this alternate art Singir Dark Baron by Pete Venters, who did the Baron Singir the first time around. But this is only a WPN Game Store exclusive, and I think it's a release week. You receive one of these. Oh no. Yeah. So it's just the pre-release reward. So I guess the shops can use these however they want. Some use them as rewards. Some just give them out. I guess it depends on your allocation as well.
Card Shop Reality says my shop is getting 100 Barons.
So there you go. So it's a handout at some places. It can be a reward if you want it to be. But yeah, I mean, Jake, were you shocked when you saw Mana Drain hit the preview, or did you expect another one?
I was like, it's pretty much time. That's the flagship card of Iconic Masters. It's like the reason to buy Iconic Masters.
Exactly.
And so, as it's popping up in more CEDH decks, it was kind of like one of those cards that was like $80, and then it was like CEDH took off in a couple months. It went up to like 150, and so now it's time to reprint the card. People need it, And we're not cracking packs of Legends. Iconic Masters has gone up in price significantly just because of the demand that Mana Drain has. And so it's time to just reprint it. It's an incentive to get people signed up.
Right.
Yeah, like Card Shop says there.
This is one of those, if they can balance it like being a mythic, something like that. For me, it's like Mana Crypt. Every available chance, if you want to rotate back and forth between printing cards like this so that they can be acquired, that would be pretty sweet. I mean, how many times have we seen Mana Crypt reprinted in the last 2 years, Jake? Quite a few, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, and it popped up in Mystery Boosters, which, if we remember, was
that's what it was.
It was one of the most reasonably priced products for the kind of cards that you could open in it. And I remember buying those boxes for like $98, and yeah, dude, it's crazy because it just feels like Wizards of the Coast doesn't have their finger on the pulse sometimes as far as like, do we think this is going to do really well? We don't think Mystery Boosters is going to do very well. And now you have stuff like Mirrored Lotus and Niv Mizzet, or whatever the playtest card is that came out of that set,
right,
that have just absolutely spiked. So I think players just kind of FOMO out a little bit too much in this game, and with all the variants, I've just kind of changed my practice, and I don't know if people are going to still find that appealing to watch because I'm not buying as many variants, but I'm just trying to be more frugal and smart about this thing.
Well, yeah, and you're cherry picking a bit more.
People to know that as well.
I mean, if you go
Mr.
back,
Buzzbuzz Mirrored Lotus, that's the card that's gone through a big price correction.
If you've watched any of the videos on our channel, last 2 years has really changed the financial approach overall because of all of the variants and all of the secret layers and all of the, what have you. Nothing is off limits anymore, and the reprints and the remakes and the special versions are going to be coming hot and heavy all the freaking time. So, I bet you could go see a video of ours from like three or so years ago, 3.5 years ago, that's makes it look very
super
different than how we approach it.
Like, so dated. Yeah, it'll just be like, I watch old videos of ours that are just so cringy because I'm just like, oh my god, I hope nobody listens to this, because this is just like so off from where it needs to be these days. Just like talking about specking SRAM Senior Edificer, or even cards like Walking Ballista, it's just like, I hope someone doesn't find that in 2020 and think it's up to date, because it's just like that whole practice has changed.
Dragon Ball talk goes with big cards, little heads, the way it should be. Wanted to point that out just because it's an inside joke.
Dude, we're pulling the curtain aside. Card Shop Reality listened to Jake's old vids.
So there we go. That's where the opinion originated, Jake. That's what the problem was.
Well, just know that I'm there with you. I listened to my old vids too. So
let's move on from Mana Drain and talk about Ray of Mastersmith. It's a creature that is definitely from Kaladesh. 1 white, 1 red, legendary dwarf artificer. Whenever an enchanted or equipped creature you control attacks, that creature gains double strike until end of turn. It's a 2/2. Jake, this feels really good in the 99 of a deck that's dedicated to this. And before I pass it to you, Luke Zuliani and Dragon Ball Talk, thank you for those subscriptions. DBT, you're telling on yourself. Jake, what do you think of this in the 99 of an equipment enchantment deck?
I think it's a great card. It's fine. It's one of those cards that would hang out with SRAM Senior Edificer. We were just talking about SRAM. They definitely go to the same stuff. They probably don't get along very well. Maybe they do. They've got a professional competition,
professionally competitive type relationship.
Yeah, I think so. I think so as well.
Yeah.
I think the card is fine. Again, it just says to me limited. Yeah. It's very hard for me to be super excited about creatures that don't have any kind of like avoidance in EDH and with a 2 toughness, just because they're so easy to ace.
Yep.
But
Arsenal Armory of Erois, 2 mana artifact. It's got equip 2. Whenever equipped creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's pretty cute. Nothing special.
It's gonna do things in any kind of doubling season kind of build, any kind of proliferate kind of build. But in those kind of builds, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it for me to even run this? And again, I think it's a limited card. I love the art on this, and I want to say one thing really quick before we get into it. This is colored pencil.
Wait, this piece is colored pencil? You're 100% sure?
Yes. I was looking at this, and Yeah, this is actually done in pencil. Yeah.
That is insane. That is, I mean, number one, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what I saw is that Sakashima is colored pencil, yeah.
This is, I mean, that's gorgeous looking, man. Look at that piece.
Yeah,
Sakashima
it's like really
of 1,000 faces.
Yeah, it's really, really, really cool.
Wow, what an incredible piece. Yep, let's look at the card here. 1 blue, 3 other. For a legendary creature, human rogue, you may have Sakashima of 1,000 faces enter the battlefield as a copy of another creature you control, except it has Sakashima of 1,000 faces other abilities. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. And Jake, I don't know if people are saying it in chat right now, but I guarantee that they will be, because when you combine this with Vial Smasher, you get a pretty mean little combo going. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, it deals damage to the converted mana cost to an opponent chosen at random. Having 2 of those, because they are partners, plus we are in blue, black, and red as your colors of your commander deck, plus Vial Smasher's on 3, Sakashima's on 4. That's a pretty nasty little 1-2 punch as far as partners go. While Jake gives his opinion of Sakashima, let me know in chat what you would partner with Sakashima. What commander would it be that can partner?
It's so
would
fun
it be brutal to have
like
a copy of?
It's a mirror gallery on a stick.
On a stick,
it's
yeah.
Like, yeah, dude. It's very strong. It's hard for me to evaluate these cards at first glance because you really do have to see them paired up with certain kinds of things. But I do think Vial Smasher. We're seeing Brutaclad as well.
Yeah, this is our blue mythic partner, and I gotta say I'm in love with the design of this. Like you said, we've got that artifact. What's that artifact called again? Hall of it. What is it called?
Mirror Gallery.
Mirror Gallery. Thank you. Got Mirror Gallery on a stick here that can go with partner. We've got a ton of mean new partners that can really take over a game, and having a second copy of those, and it's just crazy with Vial Smasher here.
Look at Brutaclad really quick, because I'm seeing that pop up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, essentially, you can go Splinter Twin, right? Because of Sakashima. Creature tokens you control have haste at the beginning, so this can't be a partner. I'm talking about creatures that Sakashima can partner with as a different legendary. It's great.
Oh, they might have just brought up Brutaclad
Yeah.
as a good interaction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great in Brutaclad for sure.
Yeah.
But I
Definitely
mean, with this,
a cool card.
you've just got so many possibilities because you can run Splinter Twin in there. You can make copies of whoever your partner is. That's going to be a video I work on in the future, Jake, is Sakashima of 1,000 Faces partner deck.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool card. Yeah, it looks. Oh god, I love that art so much.
Past that, we got Sakashima's Protege, which is a 6-cost flashing Cascade 3/1. Have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any permanent that entered the battlefield this turn.
This could be very, very strong. The casting cost is high, but it is a strong card. And if you pick the right thing, it can do a lot. And the fact that it has Cascade,
right?
Nothing to shake the stick at. That's a pretty big deal.
That's where I go with this. I mean, the high cost cards, I'm like, okay, well, the payoff is they've got Cascade, so you're going to get a 2-for-1 most likely. And it can enter the battlefield as something that it cascaded into. And Sakashima's Will says choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this, you can choose both, which we've seen across these Will cards that are popping up for our mythics. Target opponent chooses a creature they control, you gain control of it. Or choose a creature you control, each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. So we've got some absolute heat here as far as copying goes.
In certain situations, this can be really, really, really gas. In the right situation, you're going to be able to take any commander. You take it from the person with only one creature. I mean, that's easy to pull off.
Well, I love it doesn't target, so it takes their Voltron commander. No problemo.
Yeah. Choose a creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. So, in certain situations where your board might be filled with, pretty medium to low end creatures, turn them into whatever the biggest thing is. The fact that you could do both of these for 4 mana seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's a good partner combination. Ravos and Sakashima, so that you're getting 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand at the beginning of your upkeep, and you got a 2/2 Anthem for all your creatures. That's pretty cool.
And it's Esper. Yeah.
Yep, and it's Esper.
You could do some fun stuff with Esper.
Pretty nuts. Jake, here is a card. Speaking of Splinter Twin, here's a card that goes infinite with Splinter Twin. Coercive Recruiter. 1 red, 4 other, 4/3 pirate. Whenever it or another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature until end of turn. It gains haste and becomes a pirate. Essentially, this gain control of target creature, untap that creature until end of turn. It gains haste. Everybody for every set is looking for that group of text on a card, because then they're like, oh, goes infinite with Splinter Twin. It goes infinite with Splinter Twin. That one goes infinite with Splinter Twin. Every single freaking time. But here's a pirate that goes infinite.
More heat for pirates. I like that it's an orc.
Yeah. Yeah, they've done a good job expanding the pirate tribe in this set for sure.
I mean, that's honestly really, really, really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Any of those abilities, especially when they come on a stick.
Yeah, I mean 5 costs is kind of high, but I do like the card. It's just so hard for me to evaluate creatures well in Commander. I mean, I know how much our playgroup values spot removal, and so something like this, while I do see it being a very powerful effect, I just know how fast that card would get aced.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if it doesn't though, you got yourself an infinite amount of hasty pirates. They're not untapped though, I don't think. Not all of them. Yeah, because then you want to tap the new one. Or no, you're constantly gaining control. Oh yeah, so it is an infinite group that can.
Yeah, he triggers himself. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we can go and attack that turn with an infinitely large army of orc pirates. Good way to end a game in red. Coercive Recruiter and Splinter Twin. What can you do? Kanji Skywarden. We got more flying support. We've seen a lot of flying support in this set so far, so I would definitely say there's an archetype of blue-white flyers in the limited, if you're drafting it ever. Blue-white 3/3 bird wizard, uncommon. Flying Vigi. Whenever it attacks, attacking creatures with flying get +2/+0 until end of turn. And when it blocks, blocking creatures with flying get +0/+2 until end of turn. So, good, not great. Solid.
Again, I like this card for limited. I think it's the kind of thing where it's like I'm drafting multiple colors. I need to get into blue-white. Maybe, it's a great way to do that. I think the card is fine. It's nice and strong. Vigilance in the air is always good. Most likely, if you build the deck right, you should be getting in and you should be blocking well with this card. That's the way it's designed. Yeah, dude, I think it's good.
Yeah,
I think it's good. I wouldn't build a deck around it. If I'm in those colors, I'm probably going to build like Ojutai or something like that. It's just like not really what I'm looking for.
Right. Got Gale Strike, return target tap creature to its owner's hand, draw a card. Got Kanji's Lieutenant. It's a fine limited card. I mean, it is a one-time removal that replaces itself, so play it in limited if you need a slot that is some kind of interaction. If you've got an open slot for interaction, that's a solid one just because it replaces itself. Lieutenant's got Encore for 6, but it's a 3 cost 1/1. Flying, whenever it attacks attacking creatures with flying, get +1/+1 until end of turn. So another little anthem effect on an uncommon creature. Limited, nothing else. Got a etched foil of Yuriko, hugely popular. Ninjutsu Commander. Lots of people love this one. I've been on Spell Table, actually, Jake, with our patrons. I've had this card just whoop a table, blow me out of the game real early.
Card Shop has a note about Yuriko that I want to bring up.
Yep.
Notice the number. It's going to be etched only. is what he notices. Notes about Eureka here.
542. So if you get a Eureka, it's going to be etched only. You can't get a regular version of Eureka. That's a good note.
Yeah, that's a good note, and worth bringing up. I'm making sure to monitor chat over here just because we do want to bring you the best information possible. BuzzFuzz adds, yes, etched cards aren't in main sets. So, the reprint commanders, this is the best way of saying it, Magic the Casual has it, yes, the reprint commanders are only in etched. So if they are reprints, they are not in the main set. That is what we are learning. I think like 32 are Legends reprints etched.
But they can be found in draft boosters.
They're still in boosters.
Yeah,
that's what someone say.
Yeah.
They are just less frequent.
Right. It says right here, always foil, Jake.
Oh, I see.
So the foil etched legends, the reprints are always going to be these cards.
Got it.
And you got 2 of them guaranteed in every collector booster, and they're always the foil etched variants. So they really are putting a good amount of these out into the world.
You're going to have 2 guaranteed foil etched cards coming out of every collector booster, but I guarantee you it's not always going to be mythics and rares. It's going to have to be other rarities.
Yeah, exactly. 1 foil etched uncommon, 1 foil etched reprint legendary.
Got it.
And then right, 1 foil etched rare or mythic rare legendary or foil borderless planeswalker.
Jeez, I just need somebody to like email me a breakdown of like how they do this. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills every single time I need to like do one of these product reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. Let's look at somebody from what I'm assuming is Dominaria. Somebody tell me if this is not from Dominaria, but Glacian, Powerstone Engineers, a 6-cost, 3/6 human artificer. Tap it, tap X, untapped artifacts you control. Look at the top X cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. It's got partner. Jake, this is another one of those. I'm starting to see these trends here. Blue-white artifacts, blue-white equipment. Also a little bit of a black-blue artifacts matter thing. There's a really good Esper artifacts matter archetype that has a solid amount of support if you want to play it aggro, if you want to play it control, if you want to play it, essentially rocks. Yeah. And this is another commander that's going to help with that. I like that you're able to do it at instant speed, so you can do it at the EOT. Look at the top X, put one of those cards in your hand. That's pretty great.
Yeah, it is high cost. It's a 6 cost.
Oh yeah, it's a 6 cost. It is a 6 cost.
It's pretty expensive.
But honestly,
I do like it for...
I mean, it's tap him, tap an untapped artifact you control, draw a card.
Yeah,
is essentially what he says.
Put one into your hand and the rest into your yard. If you're building, Jace and Thassa's Oracle into this, it could be a really nice way to like mill yourself out. Again, kind of high cost, but in a limited setting, I really do like it as far as it's a 3/6, so it's got a nice big butt when you cast it in limited.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to pair it with something, probably something cheaper, something you can get out earlier, but I do like the card advantage and the velocity. That's the kind of thing that I look for whenever I'm building a deck is, can I keep resources in my hand? And that seems good.
For sure. That wraps us out of Tuesday, and before we move to Wednesdays, quick thank you to Logan, Diego, and Pierre Alexander for those subscriptions. Y'all hitting that subscribe button helps us out more than you know, so really appreciate that. Dawnglade Regent, Jake. 2 green, 5 other for an 8/8. When it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. And as long as you're the Monarch, permanents you control have hexproof. This is one of the best, like, King in the Castle ones that I've seen so far. You become the Monarch when it comes into play, and everything you control, except yourself, has hexproof. This card, to me, is super dope. Very expensive, though.
Yeah, it is a very expensive card, but, 7 in EDH is not unheard of. And what's really cool about this card, like you said, is that everything has hexproof. So it is most likely, unless they're going to blow up your board or something, you should be able to block. If you've built the deck well, you should be able to protect your Monarch and make sure that you hold on to the Monarch during the game. I like Monarch because it's a very political way of playing Magic the Gathering.
Dude,
and I love all the Monarch support that the set is getting. And
yeah, me too.
This card is really cool. I think it's beautiful. Do I think that this card, that this elk is bigger than a dragon? I don't.
It's got magic, dude. It's got magic and it's fast.
Magic, but it's an 8/8, dude. It's just, I get it's a giant elk. I like to believe that these trees are as big as like redwoods, but I'm looking at the trunk of them and they don't look huge. So this elk doesn't seem like it could kick a dragon's ass.
Dude, you've got a bird for scale right here. You've got a bird for scale right here under its antlers. Did you see that?
Yeah, man, you could put a bird for scale next to me and it's going to still look like a small bird. I'm just saying, a dragon would eat that thing. I'm sorry. Changed my mind. Sorry.
Magic the Casual said, who let Oko around royalty again?
Dude, you see all those points? That's true. There are a bunch of points.
Yeah, dude, look at how pointy its head is. It's a lot less derpier than our dinosaur, buddy. It is very regal. I think this is going to be a gorgeous foil. 8 soldiers
can take the elk, but not a dragon. I love that. Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, 8 soldiers are... I mean, what is the meme? 13 squirrels, 15 squirrels? I can't remember what the meme is exactly. Can take on one of those Eldrazi. Jake, let's look at another mythic partner. This one is from my favorite story of MTG, favorite era of MTG. 5 cost... 5 mana plus 2 white for Akroma, Vision of Ixidor. So this is after... Yeah, I know you don't care about the story, but this is after her battle with Phage, who was Jessica, and Kamal killed her. And Jessica... So Jessica got turned into Phage when the Cabal Patriarch was trying to kill her. You know, and then they had to battle in the pits. Jake really hates the lore, y'all. Akroma, Vision of Ixidor. 7 cost 6/6 legendary angel. Flying, first strike, vigilance, trample. At the beginning of each combat until end of turn, each other creature you control gets +1/+1 if it has flying, +1/+1 if it has first strike, and so on for double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, protection, reach, trample, vigilance, and partner. And it has partner. This thing makes itself a... Oh, and partner. Oh, so it makes itself a 12/12. No, sorry, 5. 11/11.
Dude,
on the attack.
This was the card earlier that I was saying, like, this is one of the perfect cards to pair up with the cheap commanders. And I already see chat popping off talking about gonna pair this Akroma with the Rograk, or whatever the one guy is,
right?
And do a red-white angels. He's got 3 keywords and cost 0. So I really do like pairing something big and beefy. This is a 7 cost, so you really do need to go with something a little bit lower to the ground if you're going to try and stave off until you can get here. However, once you get here, if this resolves, this is a really, really nice way. This type of card I will be selling within the first couple weeks to make money. Yeah, that's a good move, Card Shop. I agree with you there. If it's not like eternally playable, if there's any kind of hype around it, it's best to move it. Don't be attached to it. Buy it later if it's the kind of thing that you really do want for the collection, but wait for it to bottom out a little bit. You keep adding to the keyword soup tribal thing.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I actually read it incorrectly there. It is each other creature. A couple people corrected me on that in the chat. It is each other creature, so she is not triggering on herself. I mean, it's a
RTFC.
Yeah, RTFC, Joel. It is a very mana-intensive combination, but partnering this with something like Garruk that is also going to have that combat trigger to give creature stuff at the beginning of your turn. That was Heart, Garruk Heart, right? Not Garruk. God damn it, Joel, come on. Kamal Heart, I believe. I meant Kamal, not Garruk. Yeah, Kamal Heart of Kroza. At the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample. So this is effectively giving them +4/+4 because of Akroma's ability to give trample an extra +1/+1.
Yeah, I mean, you could do both of these and just play a ton of ramp and try to get to them.
Right.
because they're both just so expensive.
I mean, you need 15 mana.
Yeah, and white has no shortage of removal and board wipe, and green no shortage of ramp. So you can get there. It's just expensive.
Zen Panda hitting us with the truth here. Sakashima of 1,000 Faces and Akroma makes them both 11/11s with flying, first strike, vigilance, and trample. That's pretty nasty.
That seems good. We'll catch you later. Casual, thanks for hanging.
Yeah, so Akroma's very cool. I was hyped when I saw this, obviously, because of story reasons. I mean, this is her in her mechanical form. You see her legs here. She's been put back together. But I do think that it's cool to have these partners that are on the top end of the spectrum too. And Akroma, I mean, look at Akroma's memorial. This ability soup, as somebody was saying, that is very on theme for Akroma. Like with our mythics here, mythic partners, we got a will card, Akroma's Will, 4-cost instant speed. Choose one. If you control a commander, you can choose both. Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, and double strike until end of turn. Or creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colors until end of turn. I mean, Jake, this is a win con. This is a 4-mana. If I can hit enough, if I can call one color as protection, I'm going to be able to dodge everything. And I'm going to be able to attack through every line. And we're going to get we're going to get some damage through. This card has the potential to be great.
It's hugely powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of versatility on it. Like, Teferi's Protection is 1 mana cheaper.
That's the card I thought of when I read it, though.
Yeah, the formation.
Teferi's Protection is just so strong.
Right.
But I do see this as becoming an EDH staple in decks that run white, just because that versatility. It's easy to slot. It's 1 white and 3 other. It's not super mana restrictive.
The formation
just
card
versatility of, if the commander's on the field, being able to do both.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you just need it to stave off an attack, dude, you could have somebody like come in at you, and then all of a sudden, instead of this being your win con, you're casting it at instant speed to give all your stuff flying, vigilance, double strike until end of turn, give it all lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colors, and now block their whole field, and that's a blowout, dude.
Right.
So good defensively, good offensively. It's a strong card.
Yeah, absolutely. The formation card from the most recent Ravnica sets also comes to mind, because it is a 3 mana. Your creatures get indestructible. But for an extra mana, like you said, gosh, the versatility of this, how it can be defensive and offensive, this is a very good card. This is a very good card. That's a white card for sure.
I love the defensiveness of it. Just the fact that it can turn things into like a huge blowout. And again, creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from all colors until end of turn. That is an instant speed effect. So if your opponent is just getting in with the generic board wipe to clean things up, this can be one of those cards that you cast at instant speed just to get around that board wipe.
Right.
So it's like, it's good defensively, it's good offensively, it's good versus board wipe, which, I mean, that's more defensive and more reactionary. But again, nothing to scoff at.
A for sure. That's an A card right there.
Yeah,
it's interesting now. If you're playing a mono white, you've got what? You've got your commander. You've got a Soul Ring. You've got Smothering Tithe. You've got Teferi's Protection. You've got Akroma's Will, and then you've got 95 other cards.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, white needs support. So this is some very good absolute heat for white.
Definitely.
The other card that we've already reviewed that's really good for white, in my opinion, but it's a little bit more narrow, is the token generator, the White Court. I forget, it's called Court of something, but it's a really strong card. The fact that you're getting a 1/1 flyer from it or a 4/4 angel is really good.
For sure. We've got Crom Opus.
That's not available in my 1/1 grab packs.
You got it. Look at this. We got Crom Opus de Ludovic. Here we go, Jake. Creature légendaire, zombie et helle, Volceliate, à chaque fois.
All right, go to the translation. I just want to read it. I don't want to listen to you try to practice French.
À chaque tour, pioches une carte. Partenariat. Oh, look, yeah, Jake knows a little French.
Partner.
Partenariat.
Flying haste, When it enters the battlefield, what does it do?
This is a reprint.
Okay.
This is one of our reprints from Commander 2016. I had to do the French for Mr. Buzzfuzz. He gets all excited when I do my French accent. Humble Defector we've got is a fun card. This is tap, draw 2. Target opponent gains control of Humble Defector.
It's a funny little political card. A braid popping up.
We got Fissurization. We got a braid reprint. Foil full art, a braid.
I actually love that it's called Fissurization.
Fissuration.
Fissuration.
It kind of sounds like refrigeration.
Yeah.
I tickled myself. All right, let's move on to an Ingenuity Engine. Uncommon 7-cost artifact with some dope art. Ingenuity Engine, artifact Cascade. Pay 1, tap it, sack an artifact, return target artifact you control to its owner's hand.
Good. This is very good.
This card seems silly. This also seems like the kind of card that in like a month, people are going to be going on about the infinite combo with Ingenuity Engine.
Yeah, second, I mean, the buy-in cost to this is high, and you can see because the ability is so strong.
Yeah.
Like that Cascade is super nice. You get to a little roll the dice. I like Cascade because it's like rolling the dice. You're just kind of like getting whatever's up there.
Yeah.
But sack an artifact, return an artifact. What is a big, powerful artifact that came out of this set? Jewel Lotus. Is there going to be some way to sacrifice an innocuous artifact to get that back? I'm sure that there is. Is that going to be the best use for this? Definitely not. I'm sure that there's going to be a
Spine of Ish Saw comes to mind for coming in.
Yeah, but
Meteor
I'm just thinking
Golem,
of like
cards like that.
Very cheap artifacts. So like mana sources, stuff like Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. I could see it being very good.
Yeah.
And yes, it's the fact that it's uncommon is pretty big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Ingenuity Engine gets a solid B- there. Then we got a reprint.
Says it combos with artifacts that stay tapped like Mana Vault. That's a good note as well.
Oh, really? That is an interesting note. I wasn't aware of that. Jake, talk to us about
Ring. That's a fun reprint all the way back from Visions, I believe.
Yeah,
is that
Visions.
last time we saw it? Oh,
we got 7th edition, but look at that! Look at that 7th edition version, baby.
No, I actually really do like the art, but I do hate the 7th edition. I just don't like the white border, dude. It's just really hard for me to get into it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, white borders. White borders. What? White borders like a troll, right? But Commander's Legend. I mean, I like that they went back with the original Donato Giancola art there because I think it's just very, very well done. Yeah, and I mean, we've got now the Sisei's Ring with the modern templating. I think that's a big cool thing to look out for.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is one that we'll get. I guess we would have been told if we were going to get this one in borderless. But this is one that would be a cool foil borderless if you're gonna put some of the commons in that slot.
It's just so hard for me to value this Mana Rock over the other Mana Rock packages that we already have. It's just such a huge buy-in, but you know, 2 colorless is actually really nice. I just like if I'm paying 4, I want Thran Dynamo.
Right.
You know, it's like it's really hard for me to run this card, and I used to run it again. Thinking about the limited experience, Sisei's Ring, it would be an auto include. If you and I are, you know, playing like 2-headed of this set, which our local game store would normally do, if you still lived on this side of the country, which you don't. But no, I really do like it for limited. And when I'm looking through the set, I'm going, oh, I just don't think that's a good inclusion. I do have to remind myself that this set was designed to be a commander draft experience. So.
Right. Yeah. Universal Solvent. This is another one that is really aimed at that limited draft experience, having a destruction on a colorless card so that there can be some interaction in any color deck that you pull is important. We got our reprint here of Ishai Ojutai Dragon Speaker back from 2016. This one, as you can see, never really caught on. In its colors, it doesn't really have a super relevant ability. It's interesting. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Starts as a 1/1, comes in for 4. You know, I can see how it could be very good. It just has never really taken off in a huge way. But it's still strong. It is strong.
I think it's a fine card. I'm not super into the card.
Sure. Contra Hechizo.
Brian deleted their message, but I did see it asking if it will tank after, and I do think that we will see a big adjustment in some of the prices. So don't feel bad for asking that question, or if you answered it yourself, then that's fine. You really want to invest. Well, I would say take that money and put it into, talk to Joel about investing. Or if you do want to invest,
buy reserve list cards. I'm talking about investing in MTG. Buy reserve list cards.
I thought you said buy like stocks and bonds or something. No,
take your money, put it into a safe 7% return index fund, run more mutual fund. It's going to be great.
Or put it into dual lands. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this counterspell here with the extended art.
Yeah, Jake, this is so gorgeous. This is my favorite counterspell art. It's borderless, it's foil, this is going to be beautiful. Beautiful. Let's look at all the prints of counterspell. Now I'm interested.
Okay, so BuzzFuzz dropping in here saying it's only going to be etched, I believe, so it'll be less frequent. What card are you talking about?
Ojutai Speaker. It's those reprint reprint legendaries are only showing up as etched foils, so it shows up less frequently. Jake, let's look at these counterspell variants, if you will. I think this one is the silliest one. Oh yeah, just to catch up, sorry about that. Bruno and Brad, we really appreciate those subscriptions. That click of that button means more to us than you can know, so thank you very much. Counterspell. Jake, this is... you modeled for this art, didn't you? Or did you model for this art?
I auditioned for both and got neither, sadly.
Well, that sucks, man. But you kind of still used your likeness. I hope you're getting some kind of residual. This is the one that I posed for. Jake
Dean with the epic capture. Sorry, I'm looking at chat.
No worries.
Is this your favorite?
This is the one that I posed for.
Yeah, that was back when you did a lot of yoga.
They took artistic license with a lot of my figure, but in general, it was a great artistic experience. There are some very, very, I mean, gosh, these counterspells were just bad. I think this was the first good counterspell right here. Art. I mean, this is weird. I don't really get it.
It's funny. It looks like it just fizzles out the fingers. That's what's going on.
Yeah,
this guy
I understand what's going on.
He's like, wait a minute, that didn't work. I was trying to cast a fireball.
This is a counterspell where the water mage just shot a big wave at whoever was casting things. This is a pretty good one. This is the one that I had in my decks for the longest time. I think I still do. Was my foil from Mercadian Masks. Because I really like that art. But, I mean, we got the Jace one here when Jace became a main character. And then we got our... what are these called again? The
Invocations.
Invocations from Amonkhet. First time, I guess... so Eternal Masters, this was the first time that we saw...
Yeah, so we get this new art. We get this new art counterspell, and will there be a premium on this? Likely. And I am reading as well. So you guys are saying this card also won't appear in normal draft boosters as well.
What? Alright, because it has a number down here and it's not one of the collector numbers? Oh, jeez.
So what we need to know, I just want like a full list of the cards that aren't in the normal draft boosters, because it's just like... it's in the commander decks. Got it. Okay. I got it. All extended art is in collector.
So you can get it in a collector booster. Just not draft packs. Only commander deck. Well, at least y'all are being clear with us. We really appreciate that.
Is there at least a difference in symbol between the cards? Is there a way to tell between the difference in symbol?
I don't know. I mean, look. Let's look at Guildless Commons real fast. Guildless Common enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. So it's like those bounce lands, Jake, but it's a Ancient Tomb. It's pretty sick. Ancient Tomb without the downside. Land that's a soul ring. It's just a bounce land, happens to be a bounce land.
Enters tapped. This battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. So pairs well with any kind of ETB land. Yeah, I think it's a fine card.
Yeah,
I think it's a fine card. It's definitely not Ancient Tomb level.
No, yeah, I don't think it breaks. I don't think it breaks into some sort of like must play.
The turtle is good. That's a good note.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's it. That is a good note. Arcane Denial reprint here. I mean, let's look at the reprints on Arcane Denial because, dadgum, we got Richard Kane coming in early with the classic here. Got two different versions on the Richard Kane version. That art. This is like what classic MTG art. This is what comes to mind when I think of classic MTG art. Is Richard Kane Ferguson. I mean, this is just so good. And then you had the Arcane Denial here that was printed in command decks. I mean, this one has been printed a lot. And so it's not really holding a premium of any kind, even though it's very good. $1 or $2 for a common is still pretty relevant though, and that's just because it's a really good card. We got a new art on it. And this one will be just in the commander decks. This isn't going to be in the regular boosters. Although it could be. Did we confirm yes on collector boosters or no?
Well, the extended art will 100% be in the collector boosters.
Right. So, there you go on that.
Oh, there we go. Paul Johnson breaking it down. Anything with regular art past 361 is in the commander precons. Okay. So, I'm going to make a little note because I am going to be making the video after that.
Yep. Okay.
If anybody has any specific, like seriously, if you're in the Discord or if you want to leave it in chat, and there's any huge differences or anything notable about this product other than the Etched stuff and what we've already covered here, just let me know because I don't want to leave anything out because there are going to be people that are wondering, do I want to spend between $250 and $300 on this product? And we want to get them that information as fast as possible. So anything with regular art past 361 is in the commander precons. Okay.
So I do not think that that's a full representation of all the cards that were spoiled today. I know we saw Soul Ring from Jumbo Commander. It is.
Joel, you go ahead and entertain them for just a second. I'm going to use the restroom.
Of course.
I'll be right back to close this out with you.
So we got Soul Ring reprint confirmed here. However, this one I'm now seeing, based on what y'all have taught us here while we've streamed, that this one is only going to be in collector boosters here and in the precons here. And that, I mean, that's interesting, Would I like the opportunity to draft Soul Ring? That would be pretty dope. Not gonna lie. I would be very into that. But, I mean, it's one of those things that if somebody's got a Soul Ring because they got lucky enough to open it, playing against them in Limited would probably be pretty miserable, if I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, exactly, Paul. And then that's exactly where I was going with that, is in draft, you've got the ability to draft extra copies. You're not limited. You're not stopped by the 4-card rule, to be frank. And so you wouldn't, I assume, be stopped by the 1-card rule. Somebody can let me know if that's true or not. If you're not stopped by the 1-card rule in the draft. 361 BuzzFuzz.
Okay, well.
But the thing is that this not being in the limited is probably a good choice. You'll still be able to open the full art foils in your collector booster, which, I mean, this is obviously a chase uncommon, we'll call it. The full art foils of those, but it will not be in the draft boosters.
So essentially, that's the big gimmick with this product, is that this is the only spot where you can find these full art foils of these commander staples. Otherwise, Soul Ring is only going to appear in the commander precon, and the only place you can find it other than that will be a extended version. So You're not going to be able to even find that normal Soul Ring in a collector booster, right? If you're pulling a Soul Ring in a collector booster, it's only going to be the extended art. That's what my understanding is.
Yes.
Okay, good.
But But yeah, so that's another one that we know of that hasn't yet been updated here on the Scryfall. And that is going to take us to the end of our preview conversation tonight. Let's swap back to the other screen.
Thank you to everybody, by the way, for all of the great input. It has really made this stream super special, getting to hang out and talk with some of you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. We've been really enjoying doing these spoiler streams. I think this is how we're going to approach it in the near future for new sets that come out. Like I said, we've got one more day. Tomorrow evening, we will be seeing the rest of the set come out, previewed at the very least. Jake and I have got a full docket of videos that we are so excited to get made and get to y'all ASAP. But tomorrow evening we are going to try and do a little wrap up of the rest of the set, and we'll talk about, you know, each. We'll go over like our 5 favorite cards each, and highlight some of the special stuff that we've seen over the last 2 weeks. After that, it'll be moving into Kaldheim, and that'll be when you can catch us next time streaming these preview sets. But I will actually be streaming next week in the mornings, so check out our Twitter, watch our Discord if you're a part of our Patreon for more information regarding that. Real quick, I already said Bruno, Brad Martin, Alaric Ross. We really appreciate it. I'm going to go down the whole list. Bruno G, Pierre Alexander, Diego, Logan, Dragon Ball Talk, Luke, Mr. Fun in the Sun, Craig P in the Face of Death, Celsius Drummer, Chris, Jake, D Turner. We had a whole host of you hit that subscribe button tonight, and I got to tell you, we're not blowing smoke when we say that it is tremendous in the way that it helps us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We had a great time tonight. Jake, other than telling these fine people to go check out our Patreon and see if they want to support us further, and knowing that they get a foil etched. I've been previewing this set too long. You get a special edition holographic Jake and Joel or Magic sticker if you join our Patreon right now. Link is down in the description below. Go check that out. Other than that, I'm tapped out, and we will see y'all tomorrow night. Watch our YouTube for some new dope videos hitting.
That's right. Thank you, Card Shop, Ansel, Benjamin K, Sam, Mr. Buzzfuzz, Paul Johnson, Brody. You guys are the last people I see here hanging out.
Steven with the last minute sub, getting in under the door like Indiana Jones.
Card Shop with the big thumbs up, as always. Catch you on the flippity, Benjamin. Thank you guys all for hanging out, everybody. It's really special to be able to have people that want to hang out and watch us talk about some cards and be part of the conversation and nitpick for us when we're not doing the good work and making sure we know every single damn thing about these cards.
That's why really the value comes from y'all. That's where it comes from. You're able to tell us when we're wrong.
Just saying to Joel earlier today, I really feel like I become a better Magic player reading these comments because people are always there correcting us. And so just know we take all that criticism seriously, and we 100%. Have big conversations about it all the time. So
Jake, is that dog within an arm's reach of you so we can end the stream on a doggo picture?
No, she's sleeping nicely on the couch, and I'm not gonna interrupt her.
We're gonna end on my copy of Foil Space Godzilla Death Corona. How about that for the ending tonight?
Why are you ending it on a terrible, terrible note? Just end the video before you even get it
Here's a light play, medium play, Wheel of Fortune. That's a pretty one, right?
There we go. That's better.
All right, we'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good night.
See you guys later.